So this is a question from the review, and it's question 4x. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use the DAF approach. Now, when you have letters in your denominators, you can consider those common factors. So for instance, here we've got an x plus 2 here, we have an x plus 2 here. So I'm going to use the common factor of x plus 2. Keep in mind, to get rid of our denominators in our full solutions, I've actually used the common factor of 3 in bracket x plus 2, which you can still do as long as you're only canceling out things like the same term. Okay, so but just to show you a slightly different approach, I'll multiply all my fractions by x plus 2. And again, make sure that you are keeping everything together, or else, make sure you're remembering where your negative signs are, or else it's just not going to work out for you. Okay, so now what we have, so once I've crossed out my x plus 2, I've gotten rid of those. So I still have fractions, but that's okay, because I have 4/3 is equal to 3. And I'm going to actually break open this bracket now. You don't have to. It's just, it depends on how you feel. And that will give me, so I have a -5, and I'm multiplying that by a positive x. So that'll give me -5x. And a -5 multiplied by positive 2 gives me -10 over x. Okay, so notice here that I can't just cancel out the x on our 5x because it's with that x plus 2. So just like our order of operations, because we have an x plus 2, we would have, in knowing x, we would have to plug and solve that in first before we have to do the brackets first before anything else. So if you're wondering why I did not cancel out those x's, that's why. So now we're still left with denominators, but I'm going to create a common factor, and our common factor is going to be 3x. The reason why it's 3x is because, just like when we're adding and subtracting fractions, if we don't find the lowest common factor, then we multiply the denominators together to create one. So that's why it becomes 3x. So every term will be multiplied by 3x, even if there is not a fraction to it, because it is a balanced equation and we want to keep it that way. So the 3's will cancel out, and then the x's cancel out. So notice I'm still left with the x here and the x here and the 3 there. So just keep that in mind, that not the whole thing will cancel out. If we were just multiplying it by 3, then yes, we wouldn't have the x there, things like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to multiply through. So I have 4x is equal to 9x. And I have a positive 3 here, and I'm multiplying it by -5, so that'll give me a -15x. And I have a positive 3, and I'm multiplying that by -10, so that's going to give me -30. So I'm going to bring all of my x's over, and so I have 4x minus 9x plus 15x equals -30. So 4 minus 9 gives me -5, and then -5, and we're adding a positive 15 to it, will give me 10x is equal to -30. So now if we factor, we're at our factor stage now, so we're going to divide 10x by 10 to get x isolated, but what we do to one side we must do to the other. So -30 divided by a positive 10 gives me -3.